Hi! Today I wanted to show you about this tool and what it can do to help with thin or fine hair, and also what it means if you have thin or fine hair. So I'm going to show you about this little tool, and I'll send you the link to use it and access it. But first I wanted to say, since this is my first Instagram Live in 2025, I wanted to just greet everybody for a moment and welcome you in this new year. I've been a little quiet on social media this season so far, and it's honestly felt very, very nice. So I wanted to see some of you and have you see me and just reconnect a little bit here. And one thing I've noticed over this kind of holiday season into the new year, and the beginning of this new calendar year, is that I've been noticing for myself, and I've seen in other people, this feeling of like wanting to just turn inward and bring the focus back to the internal self. And for me, you know, what I have going on and where I'm noticing imbalances, where I'm noticing alignment, where I'm noticing things I want to be different. Anything that I've kind of reflected on for the past year that I want to bring with me into the next year, and also anything I want to change. And this, you know, winter from an Ayurvedic perspective really is this time to turn inward and re-nourish the self. You use your energy a little bit differently. It's more for recovery and restoration and stability and grounding, to allow us to feel ready for these more energetic, exposed seasons like the spring and the summer. So just having reflections on that, and I am putting together something special that I haven't quite put out there yet into the world, but if you're on my email list, you will hear about it probably within the next week or two. So it is something to help you. It's going to be a tool to help you also realign with yourself throughout this winter season, from an Ayurvedic perspective. So if that's something you're interested in and you are not on my email list, send me a DM and I will make sure you're on it and that you receive this little gift. So I think that's all I wanted to share at the moment. And if that's something that you're resonating with, perhaps you're feeling a similar way this season, whatever it is you're feeling, just leaning into that can be really helpful in staying true to yourself and staying true to your intentions and allowing yourself to have clarity going into this next season. So something to think about. Now, bringing it back to what I initially said is that I'm going to share about this this tool, and it's called the I believe it's the 7-star Plum hammer. And this is from the Facial Cupping Expert, and I will make sure to link this somewhere in these notes. And this, so Sakina is the owner of this, and she offers a lot of different products, but this one specifically I found really helpful for strengthening my hair. And so what this does is, you can see there's these little needles on there, and what this does when you use it, I'll show you how to use it in a second, is it strengthens, she gives a much better explanation, but basically it strengthens the hair right at the root. So for me, I got this to start using it. You can see there's some like lightness here on these hairs, and since I've been using this hammer, I've noticed these like small hairs coming back, right? So it's a little bit finer hair for me, but they're starting to grow back in and thicken, which is really cool. So I use it there on a locally, right? So I'll go in a circular pattern like this, and it's very gentle and like quick, right? So that's all you really need to do. Go in this circle here. So if you have local spots for either your head hair, even on the eyebrows, so I will, my eyebrows are pretty well shaped, but they, just for strengthening, I will do this to the eyebrows as well. So you can see it's really easy to use. And so I'll do this several times a week as I think of it. I just leave it in my bathroom. The other way you can use it is for just general hair strength. And so you can use it like this and go all the way down and just going in a general front to back pattern across the head. So if you're noticing hair in some spots, I've had a couple clients that have had either like really thin eyebrows or also had like, you know, bald patches for whatever reason. My husband uses it for where he's losing hair on the top of his head, and we've seen it grow back. It's really, really fascinating. So you can use it in those ways. And I will drop a link, or if you go to the link in my profile, you'll see a link for affiliates, and you can go ahead and use my link to get a discount on these. I think all of her products are very, very reasonably priced. I love using them. I also use the facial cups and the body brush, and I've loved all of her products. And if you start following her, I think you will love them too, because she is a great person to connect with, and she offers great education about all of her products. The other thing I wanted to share about why some people may experience thin hair, there can be a few reasons. One could be constitution, right? So like Vata and Pitta typically have more of a thinness or a fineness to their features. So if you do have naturally thin hair, maybe you've had it since you're a child, that could be a sign of your constitution having thin hair. Thinner hair, perhaps it's straight, that's definitely a sign of constitution, right? So kaphas will have more curly, like thick, fuller hair. Mine's a little bit in between, so it's a little bit more like pitta hair. The other thing is typically when we think about heat in the body, heat will rise, right? So when heat rises in the body, what happens is it can start to burn the hair at the top of the head, right? It can be so hot in the head that it can like actually burn and damage where the follicles are growing. So that's another sign that there can be excess heat going on, whether that's related to constitution or it could be related to an imbalance. So that is something that you can talk to me about if you have more questions. And working with someone to kind of determine, is this an imbalance or is this constitution? So, but that's kind of a clear sign of like a pitta constitution, generally someone that has like early balding, because there's just a lot of heat in the body that is rises to the head, and then it can actually burn the follicles up top. So something to think about either for yourself, maybe what you notice in other people. And if you have questions either about that relative to your constitution or questions about the using the hammer, please let me know. And if you have questions about the gift that's going to be going out in the next email newsletter, you can let me know about that as well. I'm very excited to share that with you this year. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.